Hello everyone, welcome to Mage TV. I am Mage. Bit of a quick video, a little bit on the fly because the news is breaking that the Premier League will make the teams play behind closed doors to contain and delay the spread of the coronavirus. Wow, like this has been bubbling under for weeks and weeks and weeks now, and there's part of you that naturally thinks, oh, look, it won't happen. It's just a lot of fear mongering because, look, we live in a world where we're constantly bombarded by fearful messages from the mainstream media and beyond, from the non-mainstream media, from social media and everything in between. So, and obviously in the era of fake news, etc., you're naturally skeptical when you see these things, when you hear people saying, oh, well, it's going to lead to quarantines, it's going to lead to, the closing down of sports and all this kind of stuff. And you think, yeah, but it's not really going to impact us, is it? And look, it is. We've seen Serie A is postponed at the moment. The NBA season has been, I believe that's been cancelled at this point. Over in the States, we've seen football matches in other areas just being played behind closed doors. PSG Dortmund was behind closed doors. A number of games in La Liga have been that way as well. And we've already seen in the Premier League, Arsenal-Manchester City game at the Etihad was postponed after Arsenal players came into contact with the Olympiacos chairman who had been diagnosed as positive for coronavirus. So, and they're saying that given that Italy's currently on lockdown as a country, we're 2 weeks behind the spread of that. So it's natural that a point had to come where England had to kind of catch up and take action. And my initial reaction is one that it doesn't make me a good person in any way, shape, or form because, look, I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm a football fan. I've waited 30 years to see my club win the title, and it's mad that we've gone from this world of like how many times in recent years where Liverpool have looked okay, and there's been news of an asteroid coming, or there's been news of some form of disaster looming that's going to stop this from happening, and everyone has this kind of gallows humour that says, wouldn't it be typical Liverpool to do this and then not be able to have it? There's a real possibility the Premier League will be cancelled. Right now, the thing, again, taking off my humanitarian hat, which I'll do for a moment, just to caveat all this, it's not necessarily how I fundamentally believe as a person, but as an instant reaction, I'm sure a lot of you guys are feeling the same as well, whether you're Liverpool fans or general football fans. It's a weird situation. It's mad that we're going to exist in this world, and yeah, it's weird that having waited 30 years for the league title, Liverpool only need 6 points left. They need to beat Everton on Monday and they need to beat Crystal Palace at the weekend, and it's done. And as it stands, it will be done if they do it, but there'll be no Liverpool fans inside the stadium, which is bizarre. It's absolutely bizarre. I've got no other word for it. We are living in unique times. I genuinely didn't think this was going to happen. It seems like the kind of thing that's just going to pass you by, or someone will sort, and it won't be a big problem. And you're convincing yourself that it's not a big deal. You go, oh, well, look at the mortality rate's not that high. The mortality rate for flu is higher, etc., etc., etc. But there comes a point where, as much as, and this is very much an issue we have in Liverpool, we're not particularly fond of the establishment. We're quite an anti-establishment city and people, and a lot of people are as well, and outside of Liverpool, of course. You don't really like listening to your government, but when you listen to, medical experts and what have you, and you can see that people are really starting to take it seriously, it's not just fear mongering. It's not just people are panic buying because people are idiots. People aren't idiots. People are scared, and people are rightly scared. And what a strange set of circumstances that now we're in. And uh, yeah, it feels weird and selfish to talk about, oh, boo-hoo, a bunch of people who like a pastime, which is effectively what football is, would be upset about this kind of thing. But yeah, look, it's a natural human reaction to anything. If you really love anything and it's taken away, I think you'll find that happening more and more in the coming weeks. At the moment, for a lot of people, for the people who've got enough toilet roll in the house and enough soap, and maybe don't have to mingle with loads and loads of big crowds or whatever, yeah, it's not really having a great impact. But there's probably going to come a point where the people who aren't impacted by it will begin to be impacted by it, and it's going to be interesting to see how we react as a people and as a nation, as a globally as well, to be perfectly honest. Because yeah, what a crazy time we're living in. There's a very real chance that sport will be cancelled. The government has moved from they're calling it from the delay phase to the contain. Oh, the contain phase to the delay phase. They're trying to stop the spread effectively by limiting mass, public gatherings and what have you. And they obviously everyone naturally say, well, there's loads of people on the tube and there's loads of this and that. there's a possibility that'll happen down the line, of course, but you don't want to shut down your infrastructure of your country if you can help. But if you can limit things by telling people to, to kind of wind the pastimes in a bit, it makes sense. Now, what it means in terms of the football side of things, because obviously, look, I am no expert. I'm no medical expert. Please do not take my thoughts and feelings on this as anything like that in any way, shape, or form. Um, what we do know is that yes, obviously the games are going to be played behind closed doors, and what it means, the plans according to the Times are that season ticket holders are going to be able to stream all of the games. However, the 3 p.m. blackout will remain in place. Um, and broadcasters will be allowed to show multiple games as well to kind of cover for it. I mean, again, if nobody can watch it, what's the point? And it's weirder from the Liverpool perspective because look, it's 6 points and then the league's done, and then that's Liverpool's season pretty much boxed off at that point. Nothing else really matters other than yeah, it is. That's done. That's Liverpool's season done. But there's lots and lots of football teams. It's not as simple as that for everyone else. Think about the relegation teams. Think about the teams who are fighting for top four or whatever. I mean, they're far less important than the teams fighting for relegation. Your entire club's future could be based on that. There's tons of football clubs who need gate receipts to stay open lower down the leagues. It's not a great situation, but I guess the problem is, again, this is not a football situation. Football has fallen foul of a wider situation. For me, though, the issue around this 3 p.m. blackout, I think it needs to be sacked off, and it might be, once this is all said and done, and it's cleared up, whenever that may be in the future, the landscape of how we live will have changed in some way, shape, or form. And in a football sense, and again, I feel weird just sat here talking about the football perspective on things, but it might mean a change to broadcasting rights, and that might change things in general, because it's mad that now there's people in this country who are still not going to be able to watch football matches when people around the world will be able to still. Feels like the kind of situation where you could have a little test of this, but yeah, what a mad, weird situation. Yeah, and I can't help but boil down to it that you can't help but feel selfish. You can't help but feel that somehow it's a mad conspiracy theory against you, because look, we all go to that, and we've been building ourselves up over years. Every football club has got their own set of conspiracies about how the FA or the Premier League or UEFA or FIFA or referees or the press or whatever are all against you, and they're looking to turn against you or whatever. Come on, universe. Come on, do us a favour, just let us get the league title won. And honestly, I will follow everything to the letter once it's done. Please just let it be done before. No, look, I'm joking. Obviously there's a very serious situation developing here, and look, Bill Shankly once said, "Football's not a matter of life or death; it's more important than that." And I always talk about this because it's a wonderful saying, but it's a very tongue-in-cheek saying. Life and death is the most important thing, and what you do in between it is up to you, and you should choose to fill your life with as much pleasantness and happiness in between those two things as possible. But look, ultimately, that's what football is. It is a sport. It is a pastime. Now, what I've not mentioned actually is the fact that we saw this with PSG and Dortmund. Loads of fans got together outside the ground. There's still a possibility that that happens. Look, if Liverpool have got a chance of winning the title against Crystal Palace at Saturday, what do? There's going to be thousands and thousands of people who still descend upon Anfield. Are the measures put in place for that? That's the big thing. Now they're not going to be show. They're going to ban pubs from showing the games to limit, crowds and whatever you're developing. It's mad. We're not a culture, I think, that's used to being told what to do and likes being told what to do. Call it the spirit of the Blitz. Call it, all that. You see it probably from England fans, all that. But the whole we won the World War by sticking together and doing whatever. We won't be backed into a corner. Going to be a mad few weeks. Buckle in, keep your loved ones close to you, try to keep happy, try to keep saying, I'm going to keep making content, because ultimately got no other choice at this point. We're still going to be doing Red Men TV as well, regardless of what happens. But yeah, it promises to be a fascinating and annoying but fascinating set of circumstances, provided we all stay safe. And the loss of life can be stemmed dramatically in this. I'm lost for words. Genuinely, I can't believe this is the world we're living in. This is like a mad dystopian future, and somehow we're all in it. Weird stuff. Listen, let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments section underneath. It is a bizarre and unique set of circumstances. Do you agree with the plans to continue with the 3 p.m. blackout? Do you agree with the plans to stop people gathering in pubs? Again, look, none of us is medical experts. I stress this one more time. I am not a medical expert. Listen to medical experts. Listen to people who know what they're talking about. Don't listen to people who do not have doctorates, who do not have degrees, do have not got a life of experience in dealing with these things. But right now, this is what we're being told. And yeah, from a football perspective, it's weird. From a life perspective, again, there are just things that are much more important than that, and hopefully every one of you, each and every one of you, stays safe throughout this period. And yeah, whatever happens will happen, and when it does happen, I'll be back here to talk about it. In the meantime, if you want more from me, head to patreon.com/mate. We might need it. I might be locked in this, but I might need to go and smuggle black market toilet roll in the coming weeks. And if you want that content to keep flowing, patreon.com/mate. Thanks very much, everyone. All the best.